some foolish people out here who look at their personal relations with white folk, and they have good white friends. And I'm not doubting the sincerity of the friendship. Not at all. Not at all. I do not doubt that blacks and whites can be truly friendly, and we should be friendly as people. And I don't see any problem with having those friends, But do not confuse your personal relations with the relations between groups. Do not always assume that the dynamics that determines your personal relationships are the same dynamics that can be used between groups. That's a serious error that a lot of people make. I live by the code, that's my eye. Whipping vegan food up in my pot. Why they claim I acted so unruly? Cause I'm listening to while it move Rudy.
Yo, welcome back to another Geechee conversation. I know it's been a while. We've been traveling and haven't been as frequent as we should have been, but we're back speaking with two brothers about exercising and fitness. I'm going to let both of these two esteemed brothers introduce themselves, and then we're going to get right started with the dialogue. So, Brother Kwesi, you start first.
My name is Kwesi Amponsas, and I am a former national competing bodybuilder, competed nationally for about 5 years. Never went pro, but my wife and I spent a great deal of our time training and coaching people for weight loss, therapy, coaching for training, and kind of gotten out of that industry, but we still do a lot of coaching and training one-on-one. And I'm working on an article called Survival Fitness for Black African People. So I hope to share that soon.
Go ahead, Brother Nfinitee.
All right. Greetings, all Africans across the planet, the globe, everywhere we may be. I am Brother Nfinitee. Some know me as Coach Nfinitee. I do coach on the physical aspect, as Brother Kwesi just alluded to, like his bodybuilding expertise and experience. Definitely the physical aspect. What I tend to go with, and I'm sure Brother Kwesi as well, the holistic aspect of starting with the psychology and emotionality of our folks, filtering down to the physical aspect, and just giving a real thorough, holistic approach to health and well-being. I am headquartered here in Baltimore, Maryland. I am a marshal of the Black Running Organization, where we focus on running, but the whole aspect is about unity, which is also a part of the health aspect as well. And I also personally train folks as well, just dealing with the nutritional side as well as the exercise. So greetings, Bibi Fohude, Maya Hotep to everybody, and let's grow.
So anybody who's watching on social media, Facebook, YouTube, make sure you share this link with whoever you know that talks about exercise and fitness or anything, or anybody who just want to be more healthy. Make sure you share this link with them and invite them to the dialogue. I want to start this off, and either one of you can grab this question first. Exercising and working out, it sounds good, right? But I ain't got time for no gym membership. I ain't gonna pay for it. I don't got that high class equipment. Like, how do you respond to, I don't want to call that excuses, some people's reality, but how do you respond to that, not want to pay for membership, not having, the Bowflex and all this other stuff? What's the solution for that?
You can go ahead, Baba Kwesi.
All right, I appreciate it. That's actually a really good question. It's a major theme to that paper that I'm writing. I developed an idea and call it national fitness, to where we kind of get away from the the whole corporatized structure of having to go to a gym, having to, seek out the often expensive support of a personal trainer or, someone in the nutrition field, and kind of communalize it. I think that we can communalize fitness, exercise, and nutrition. People can still make money, but at the same time, we're able to afford people who don't have access, the ability to participate in necessary activities. My wife and I, former gym owners, we owned a personal training studio and a cardio studio for about 1.5 years in Rock Hill, South Carolina. We had these dreams of, becoming this mega fitness brand because we had such a good following at the time. This is back 2011, 12, at the height of me competing. I had probably 70 clients at one time, but most of them had gym memberships. And when we opened the business and we're like, can you come on over to our gym, continue working with us? Now it's like, well, I'm locked in a contract over there at that gym and I can't get out of my contract. They're going to keep debiting my account. We'd have people come in and be like, we want to work with you guys, but $30, $40 a session is a little too much. Can I pay the $5 for the group fitness class? And that was a struggle. We almost went broke. It was literally the same time we got married. So over the years, we decided to just develop group fitness where you can do outside or you can do in a park or, at someone's home. And this way, people can still participate in the activities and not have to worry so much about, can I afford it? Am I going to be able to do it consistently?
Brother Nfinitee, you have anything for that? This concept of not being able to afford it, not having the equipment, and any thoughts or response to that?
Yes, yeah. No, and really just to dovetail off with Baba Kwazi and his queen had went through with their experience, and my personal experience, and I'm sure a lot of us can attend to when it comes to the financial and finances part. There's a whole there's a sentiment out there that I've heard several times of how being healthy can be expensive. Like Baba Kwazi just said, like having a personal trainer, it can be expensive at times, especially those with a tight budget. I'm included in those with a tight budget. So and then just when it comes to food, eating healthy, there's a notion out there that that's actually more expensive, and working out can be expensive as such, with contracts with different gyms, and maybe you're not satisfied with the equipment that's there as such. I share with people the whole thing of like we just it was just brought up about working out outside, exercising outside. That's free. There are things around your house and in your house that you literally can do exercises on or with, like on your floor. You can do sit-ups, you can do push-ups, you can do all type of floor exercises. You can use chairs, you can use your furniture, you can use your steps, you can literally go in your backyard, front yard, go outside. You can take a walk, you can take a run, a jog, you can exercise in your backyard. There is really not a limitation. And so, of course, now with this, like the cost of working out with a tight budget, we talk about finances. We also talk about time. So then you'll hear people say, I don't have time. And so that's where, like I was stating earlier in my introduction, where it starts with the mindset of, okay, whatever you can't do, oftentimes people can state what cannot be done, but don't state what can be done. And instead of the half empty, we're looking at the fullness of it, right? And so we want to start, I tend to share, and I do this for myself. And then when you're able to do something for yourself and show, okay, I don't have this, I can't do this right now, or I don't have the time. Okay, what can I do to create that time? What can I do to exercise on the budget that I have? What exercises are things that I can do throughout a week, the daily, or what have you? And that's what it's about, looking at what you can do with what you have. And that's the aspect that I want to share along with for everyone.
Right. So speaking about what I have and the money and all these other things, we know that there's these microwave type workouts or microwave type supplements or something, right? Protein shakes and all these other things. What exactly should you be eating or putting in your body if fitness and exercise and all these other things is something you're serious about, right? I know people do things that they don't really study and learn about, but they just kind of do it. But what should you be putting in your body if those two things are your goal, fitness and exercise?
That's a really great question, and I would like to jump into that. I have a strong nutrition background, a nutrition specialist through the NFPT, National Federation of Professional Trainers, and then working with multiple professional bodybuilding coaches over the years and paying for all of these expensive programs. I always tell people, and I had a sponsorship with a company out of Canada, Apply Nutraceuticals, years ago. But I tell people all the time, and not being a doctor or a pharmacologist, but just from study, right, research, you don't need any supplements if you're just a regular exercising person. If you're just average Jane or average Joe or average Ajua or average Kamal, you don't need no supplements from GNC or wherever. And I tell people this all the time, and I dare anybody, especially those interested in weight loss and energy drinks. If you can go to your GNC, go down the list, tell them to give you the top 5 fat burners and top 5 energy drinks. The number 1 ingredient is caffeine. That's it, right? All the other stuff is just fillers to make your skin tingle, things to open up your nasal passages to make your breath feel like you're getting all this energy and things flowing. But it's caffeine, the single ingredient. It's an actual drug. It's the only thing that's actually scientifically proven to give you energy and to give you alertness. So they take a small dose of caffeine, sometimes a big dose. They put it in the package with 10 other ingredients and make you think you're paying for this amazing product, but really it's just the caffeine that you're purchasing. So I always tell people, if you need that extra boost, you can go to the dollar store and get you some caffeine tablets for $3 that'll probably last you 6 months. And that's work. All right. As far as the protein shakes go, when you get into athletic conditioning, when you get into advanced exercise where you're like working out 3 to 5 intense sessions a week, yes, you do need the protein supplement. And what's even better is something called branched chain amino acids. This is literally what's inside the protein that your cells use. So your body takes the protein, breaks it down, and extracts the branched chain amino acids. So you can have the protein shake if you want it as a supplement or a meal replacement, but the branched chain amino acids is the only thing your body really needs. So I always recommend 3 things: caffeine tablet for energy, branched chain amino acids if you're working out intensely, and then we need lots of vitamin C. You take upwards of 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. And that's all you really need to train and on any level in my book.
So damn, them tummy teas ain't the wave, huh?
What's that?
You know, tummy teas that they be drinking and the network marketing they be doing with all them. I have my own business. You could drink this tea and have abs in 2 days.
No, exploitation, brother, exploitation.
Oh man, damn! I just bought a bunch of it. I'm lying.
And I always send people, there's a site, ncbi.org, I think it is, ncbi. You can get peer-reviewed journal entries and learn anything you want. It's actually ncbi.gov. Peer-reviewed journal, scientific reports on just about anything related to health and fitness. So I always say, read it for yourself if you don't believe me.
Right. So, Coach Nfinitee, anything you want to add to that? And right after you add to that, I also want you to answer the question: is there such thing as too much exercise? Could you do too much exercising? But go ahead and answer the body part, but then go ahead right into is there such thing as too much exercising?
Wow. I think Baba Quasi, he covered it, man. He did it like, you know, what he says, and it's true, especially with exercises. You definitely want to recover and put back the nutrients and electrolytes and such that you lost through sweat. First, knowing the body, knowing how the body works, how the body functions. Our body has to release, has outlets, right? Through our skin, through our scalp, through our eyes, through our nose, through our mouth, and through our ears, right? And so when you're sweating from exercising, you're losing salts and sugars and different various other minerals and nutrients and such, right? So you want to definitely replace that with good. If you're going to do a protein shake or whatever you decide to do, if you're not going to eat solid foods, definitely putting back. You want to replace and put back. You want to put. I tend to like minerals like that, like an A to Z, like an A to Z. But you want your iron back. You want your like your vitamin C, as Baba Quasi stated. You want those nutrients that are going to replenish you and keep your energy up, where you're not feeling dead tired, right, after exercising. Now you could be hurt and you could be tired, but not like feeling like drained or feeling lightheaded, you know, which what actually leads to that second question, Brother Geechee, as far as like exercising too much. I come from the aspect, and Baba Quasi, please add on if I miss anything, but that can, too much exercises will complement, goes along with your nutrition, where your homeostasis, which your balance is, your body is at that time. So say you didn't eat, you haven't had enough food that week, or you haven't, when I say food, I mean the proper nutrients within your body. And then you go full-fledged to a gym or outside or wherever you work out to go like full-fledged hard workout, you mess around and hurt yourself. And so you need, just like an automobile, just like anything, you need the proper fuel to be able to gas up and go. You need the proper nutrients within your body, within your body, first of all, with water, right? So you need to be replenished. And so, you need to have enough water within yourself and enough electrolytes to be able to move and finish your exercises where you're not hurting yourself. Because that could be considered too much exercise. But again, that goes along with what you have in your body. But other than that, you really, and then along with that, too much exercise could be if you're, literally, if you're just doing too much. If you're doing like sets, a certain exercise, like say you worked out on your legs 3 days that week. I take a break, take a day, like say you worked on your legs Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then it may be too much to go Monday through Sunday versus 3 days a week and then working other muscles within your body, because you're just doing too much at one time. Your body, our muscles need to relax. So that's my current answer right there.
Appreciate that. So the people who are watching on YouTube, I'm a Fatio piece. The people watching on YouTube or Facebook, definitely get your questions in. We'll have opportunity for everyone that's watching to dialogue, and the people who are rewatching, this video is no longer live for you, but you can definitely comment as well. Baba Quasi, I want you to tell me this, and Coach T, you can add to this too. How does working out, being fit, affect your relationships? Is there any kind of impact on your relationships? Whether it can be your family, it could be your romantic partner, like just people in general. How does being fit or working out affects that? If I got a six-pack today, and a little bit, how's that going to affect the way I interact with people, if any?
That's a good question. And I relate part of that back to Brother Nfinitee, overworking, right? So just a good example, if you commit too much of your time to yourself. Like being a bodybuilder, for example, you got to be completely self-absorbed, right? Completely self-absorbed. And that's one of the reasons why I got out of that industry. Just getting married, having one child, you have to have a a dual commitment. You and your partner have to decide that this is something that y'all are going to do together, because if you don't, the time that you spend away can, you know, add stress to yourself if you're doing it too much, and also take away from, you know, your intimacy in your relationship. It could take away from, you know, your desire to even be with that other person, and it's something that we really try to shy away from talking about. But I saw it a lot, and I'm sure Nfinitee can attest to it. You got, you know, your girlfriend you've been treating like trash forever. She done went and got her body right. She ready to go showcase it to the world, you know, and vice versa with the men. So I wanted my wife to be here, but she's not feeling very well right now. We were out in the park for a while, but that is something that we had to learn ourselves, is how to incorporate each other in everything that we do, and that fitness, that exercise is a huge component in it. Just recently, she decided to up her lifestyle to reach a goal that she's never ever reached before. And unfortunately, I could not commit myself mentally to help her out. So she sought the counsel of one of our good friends who's been in the bodybuilding industry for like 30 years. Am I mad? I'm like, no, I know that she's in good hands. I know they're going to give her all the proper information she needs, and I'm totally supportive in what she's doing. And that's something that we have to look in within ourselves and decide we're going to appreciate and celebrate our partner and what they're doing if we don't do it with them.
Coach, you got something?
No, that's everything that's powerful. You know, one thing in the running world, you know, the simple saying is there's a saying throughout runners is running together makes it more better.
I like that.
Makes it more better. And it's true. And I seen one of the comments, one of the mamas put, she said her and her son work out, which gives them a great bond. And that made me think of, I was listening to Baba Kwesi speak, him and his wife and everything. And I'm listening, and I'm like, I remember one time one of my grandmothers, she lives in another state. This is maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, right? I go back home, and I say, Grandma, you want to go outside? You want to do something? And she's in her 80s, right? She's like, yeah. She says, yeah, in the morning, we're going to go to the gym. I said, really? Never, something that you never done with a family member. And when they, and it's like your grandparent, and she said, I said, yeah, Grandma, and we went to the gym together, brothers and sisters, all the brothers and sisters out there. And now I have to say that was the most special moments in my life, man. And I have it on video, of her doing what she do, and it made her so happy. And we've never done that, never talked about that, never done it. But that was one of the, like, I would never forget that. And I would just share that story because, with other family members who can identify, resonate, I should say, with that. And it does, man, the bond of, especially if you're a couple, or if you with your boys, or you with your women, your guys, or whoever you're with, to be able to work out together. It's just like doing anything together for a common goal. That right there just creates a whole new life within itself. It builds a relationship. You all, especially when it comes, if you're an intimate relationship with your significant other, and you all can exercise together, and like Baba Kwesi say, if the other person isn't necessarily into that, or they can't for the time being, for whatever reason, if they just support, that means so much. Because it can be, I don't know the correct term for it, right? But it can be a little, I guess, like for instance, if you're the person who's into health and wellness, and you are out and about, and your significant other is not, and they're not really supportive, it's kind of like, maybe she or he, they at home, they feeling the same way you are. They like, oh, okay, you're neglected, you like to work out. And you're like, man, I want you to work out, but I got to go work out with my partners. I got to go work out with her. I got to go work out with him and them. But I'd rather work out with my boo, with my babe, and that's what you were saying, Baba Geechee. Like, man, it's just like, it definitely, it is very impactful. To answer the question, it is so significant. It is so impactful, and it's just powerful. And then, especially then, the aspect of having children, a child or children, because now that child or children is watching his or her parents do something like that. And then now it just reverberates, because they may look at that, but they may grow up not necessarily at 18, at 15 doing it, but it might come back when they're 30. It might come back when they're 40, right? Whenever it comes back, they're going to say, man, my parents did this and they were so healthy, and my household was so in good health. And so, everyone, you know where I'm going, but I would just like to say, like, yeah, definitely working out, exercising together it's infinite. It's infinite.
Right. As y'all watching on YouTube and Facebook, make sure you get your questions in. I'm gonna test the water with this question, and we're gonna get into it more later. But we have a lot of ancestors now in the African Center movement that left early, and whether they wasn't eating or taking care of themselves, they transitioned way sooner than they really had to go. And so my question is, the physical exercise, the physical building of the muscle, and the mental building of the muscle, right? There's two different ones. You two brothers are ones that I really love y'all mind and grow, and y'all challenge me. My question is, what's your thoughts about focusing too much on one, right? I can cipher and recite all of the books. I'm a revolutionary, but in the time to fight the buckers, I can't fight, can't run, whatever. Or I'm looking like a African god or goddess, got veins coming out, but I have no clue about anything other than changing my proximity to whiteness. So speak a little bit about the two different exercises, and also the concept of leaning far on one of them and not doing the other.
Brother Nfinitee, you want to go ahead?
Okay. Wow. Excellent question. Excellent question. So I think my thoughts on that, Baba, is that it's multi-layered. We know the sentiment of everyone has unique or special skills. So for instance, like in battle, you have those who are skilled in a certain aspect, like say, for instance, this example of the physical aspect, right? They're on the warrior side, they're on the physical warrior side, and then someone else is on the mental and being able to critical thought side of warriorhood, right? So you have that right there, where it's like, okay, you're really proficient on the strategic, critical thought, right, aspect. You know how to do things, and of course that person may be lacking the physical side, and then the other person with the physical side doesn't have the mental, right? So both can complement each other. Then, of course, you have the side where someone can do both. So that makes you that more powerful, because something that doesn't require critical thought, so to say, and needs some man or woman power in that time, or woman skill, whether it's with weapons, whether it's with your physical strength and know-how, right? That may be needed in that moment. They may be needed over the critical thought side, and then vice versa. And so I always attempt to come from the holistic side, and I always will say both are needed. in our fight, in our struggle and fight through this existence that we're in under Urugu Bakri, you know, them. We need both. We need both. We need both. To be a warrior is to be complete. And when I say complete, meaning both sides. Like, you need to be able to attack both sides, because all they are weapons. They are both weapons. So that person who has the mental, the strategic, critical thought side, the psychological, may not even need to physically fight, because they have that. They can subdue. We can subdue our opponents by other means. And so both are needed. Both are absolutely needed. In this fight, African family, and I'll finish here so Baba Kwesi can chime in. In our fight, we don't need mental versus physical. We need mental and physical, because we're a holistic person. We have a mind, we have a brain, and we have a body. We're not just physical. We're not just mental. So to not use one, you're already behind. And I'll end there.
Appreciate that.
You know, if I could follow up, you know, with the work I'm doing, it's called Survival Fitness. My vision is to create a new paradigm where we think about exercise and fitness, not just so much of how I look, the aesthetics, but, you know, can you run? Can you jump? Can you climb? Can you crawl? Can you get yourself out of emergency situations? Anybody should be able to do those 4 things: run, jump, climb, crawl. Even if you don't have legs, you can still climb and crawl. So we have to shift our thinking to not so much as, am I great in this area or am I lacking in that area, but how do we come to what Bob Nfinitee said, a whole person? So that paradigm has to become a nationalized thing. You know, Baba Geechee, you do so much with organizing. Are you putting a fitness element into it? You know, even if you're with people all over the world, can we get together at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. online and say, do your 10-minute workout program? I had post something like that on Facebook where I started doing, you know, a regular dialogue with people. And I posted a few videos, but I never get consistent enough to build a good following with things like that. But everybody has 10 minutes. If you're an academic, if you're a meal worker or what have you, you got 10 minutes to devote to being fit, right? So I think we have to think of it as a people, like China, Japan, and I believe from the research I did, it was Sweden. They actually have a devoted time in the day where everyone works out. They play over the like a loudspeaker throughout China and Japan, where it's like exercise time, right? And then some companies give an initiative where you get 20 to 30 minutes or an hour to actually participate in some group fitness activity. So I think we have to make it a part of our national consciousness that this is what we do. You brush your teeth, you work, you put your clothes on, you exercise. So when we begin to internalize it like that and make it a part of everything that we do, as far as organizing and developing community, then we'll see that vision become a reality over generations.
Love that. Quite often we talk about political stress, right? You know, anything that you can go through as an African person on the continent, throughout any diaspora land, the conditions that you face are probably politically induced, right? And so it being politically induced, you have to think that what you think and how you think and what you feel, especially if it's not, you know, better for your African self and African collective, is probably put inside of you. So I want you to kind of touch, and it's probably a broad question, but the government and your health, right? And this concept of them wanting us to remain docile, remain unhealthy, all these other things. But just broadly speak to how the government impacts your health and how it wants to impact your health. And I know we could probably write a book about this, but just quickly, broadly, kind of dialogue about that.
Baba Crazy, you wanna take that first?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that, Bob Infinity. That's a really great question, and you might have to cut me short. Don't let me talk too much, right? So first, I want to remove the idea that the government is behind the health crisis, right? Because politically, it's not the government's responsibility in a capitalist country, right? Private corporations the government enforces what the private corporations want, right? So we don't have health care for everybody. We don't have access to healthy food for everybody. It's not a national part of our consciousness to be fit because that wouldn't be profitable, right? It's not profitable to be healthy. It's not profitable to eat healthy. It's not profitable to have a sound mental state. The government that we have is the political buffer to the corporations that control all of this stuff, right? So that's why this nationalism has to be a component to our thinking, right? So when we even look at, for example, and Bob Infinity can attest to it, personal trainers used to be able to go anywhere and work, right? And this might go off topic, but this is really important. A personal trainer used to be able to go in any gym anywhere in the country and start training people and get paid, right? Then corporations came in and said, we're going to make a contract with the gym. So no training can happen in the gym unless they work for us. And I used to manage one of these companies. So it's my job to watch out for people training under the table, so to speak. So if I see Geechee over there doing push-ups with this girl, I'm gonna walk on to, hey, bro, y'all ain't working out. Y'all ain't your trainer, is it? Because we got real trainers over here for $9.99 a session. You know what I'm saying? Crush Geechee. Geechee can't make no more money, right? Now, that worked for so long. Guess what we have now? Now we got the Uber of fitness, to where the personal trainer gets cut out completely and you can go buy an app. So now the personal trainer can't make no money nowhere because you can go get an app and get everything that the trainer gonna give to you. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at how the government works as a buffer for these corporate entities that set up to dominate and control every aspect of health and fitness. And it's going to be to our detriment, right? Because you already couldn't go into the gym and just work out with Jimmy from down the block. You got to get a contract. You got to hire the trainer. Now, look at COVID. You can't go out anywhere, but you can get the app. Everybody don't have access to the app, right? So our people are going to suffer exponentially because everything is corporatized. So I want people to think about that.
I think that was a artistic way to paint that picture and see the political connectedness to every little thing that you decide you're going to do or not going to do, especially in this hegemonic society. Bob Infinity, you can respond to that, but I also want you to respond to exactly how fit do you have to be to achieve liberation. Now, I'm asking this because, along with our escapism and other things that we deal with, we normally tend to accept ideology that's the least confrontation with the power structure, right? So rather it's run over there and go play in your little corner and whatever the case may be, we always want to not confront the power structure. So my question is, exactly how fit should we be when we thinking about this liberation thing? Because, you going on your own is like stealing money from the power structure because you are, money for them. And so when you steal money from somebody, you should be expecting to get boxed in the mouth. So how fit should we be?
This is heavy. This is heavy, Baba Geechee. Gee whiz. This is We're
Put
here.
it down, brother. Lay it down.
Yes,
Lay
sir.
it down.
Yes. We're here. Okay, I'll start with the first and definitely do my best at finishing up with the second part to the question. Baba Geechee, Baba Kwesi, man, spoke heavy. And Baba Geechee, you do this often. I'm sure all of us do. But you do this often when you speak to, going off of what Baba Kwesi was speaking to, that whole aspect. And Baba Kwesi, you did a wonderful job, because I know you could have said so much more, like you said. But Baba Geechee, you speak to always doing for self. And what Baba Kwesi was saying, for the listening audience, for those that do know and for those who may not have thought about it yet, is that the majority of us tend to definitely wait for the government, right, to say when to jump, when to crawl, as Baba Kwesi was speaking to, when to jog, when to run, when to, right? And through this so-called created pandemic, and things, and more of these to come, and those that was before it, most of us tend to freeze up, and it's like, I can't do anything, and I'm waiting for this. And when you have brothers and sisters like us who are thinkers and are liberators through spirit, mind, body, right, and everything, when we offer an option, the option, as you were saying, Baba Geechee, that option is, and I just want to set this up so we can know where we're coming from when what we're speaking to. That option is negated and tossed and ridiculed and side-eyed and feared, and because you're waiting for the government. And as Baba Kwesi said, we have to know how this corporation of the United States and other corporations across the world operate. They're operated through private sectors, through families. They operate off of what is put, those ideas. And I want to share with everybody, man, it is so unhealthy to operate off an idea that you didn't create, yet you defend. And before not even defending, you don't even challenge the idea that was created not by you. That right there is a uno numero problem. To subscribe to an idea from the ops. And then when people that look like you, family, friends, associates, Africans, say, hey, let's do this, or come up with an idea, then that's challenged. You challenge that. You ridicule that. You bypass that. But the government, people you don't even know, who do not have our best interest in, I mean, like, how much evidence do you need? I know we're in so-called 2021. It's like we're repeating what was already repeated hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But we have to do it because we're here right now together, and many of us do not know the information. And when you have a government, first of all, government, the mint means mental. You put a governor on a car, that's limiting the car. The word government means to limit the mind. Government. We say words have power all the time, yet we just kind of fly by them. If words have power, which they do, and actions as well with it, the government is enacting, that's one of their lawful words too as well. They are enacting acts, ordinances, right? So-called laws, right, of injustice on us. So we have to know where we're being attacked from first and foremost. And as Baba Kwesi, his sentiment of, we live in a capitalistic society, they are not going to do what's in our best interest. They're going to do in the interest to keep their power. So what we have to do to come to the answers, what we have to do is, as Baba Geechee puts out often, do for self. We have to learn how to grow our own food. We have to learn how to get up at 6 a.m. as Baba Quaji said he attempts to do, and not enough following as just on that part with that. But we have to say, okay, the government is they have an interest that's not of mine or my people. What can I do? Do I just lay down? Do I just go with the flow? Am I a feather floating in the wind? Or do I take control of what I can of my personal life and my family and govern our own domain? Govern first our mind, our mental. That's the king dome and queen dome, right? The dome. Can I govern a part of that and say, wow, I don't have to get vaccinated. I'm my own being. You can't give me life. I am life. So taking control first, being your own God, being your own government, being your own self, and then communicating with others, so then we can challenge each other productively. I think whenever an idea is suggested, it should be challenged. That's what will prove its truth in it, or lack of. So first that. All right, I kind of went off on a tangent. What's the second part of the question, Larry?
I mean, it was mainly like how fit do we have to be to achieve this liberation? Like, and I think you was able to address that, like, pretty much. One, being serious about the end goal that you have and just being committed to it. And it actually segues into me asking the question again in a different way to Quasi, and without him being so certain things that we obviously can't say on camera, but without him being that, like, when you think about this physical fitness, this exercise, this mental fitness, mental toughness, and then the good trouble that we should be getting into politically, right? And what must be done for African people. Again, could you merge some of that physical fitness? I think you touched a little bit about it. Like, can you run this fast? Or can you run this far? Or can you lift this much? Speak about some of that, physical fitness, the good political trouble, and then, what must be done for African people. Quasi.
Yeah, I follow where you're going, and I appreciate you trying to bridge that gap or bring that clarity to that world. I think it's important to come to a place where and I'm gonna use an example. I'm gonna use an article, and I put it in that paper. I found an article online where this elder brother was explaining to a news reporter in Louisiana how they were on one roof of a building during Hurricane Katrina, and man,
I say, yeah. I went down there, Baba Quasi.
The brother told how they were on that roof or whatever they were on, and how they were so afraid to go and save this little boy. They watched this he said the boy had to be 8 or 9. The little boy tried to jump from one platform to another to get to them. And he said that they just watched him fall down and go under the water and never come up. And I said to myself, somebody there should have had the fearlessness, the guts, the determination to try and save that boy. And it just made me think about how many other instances in that one catastrophe where people didn't feel like they had what it took to help someone else. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't look at this as a political consequence, then you really got some searching to do. You know what I'm saying? To where you have an area where people don't even have the self-determination to try and save themselves or to help anyone else. If it was still in us that we have an outward enemy, we would be training and drilling in every community and neighborhood to be prepared to help ourselves when disaster strikes, instead of waiting on FEMA or whoever in the government to come in and say, literally waiting for someone to come and save us. When I read that article, I was like, man, like it really done something to me spiritually, to where I said, I gotta figure out how to communicate this to people, that this could happen again anywhere. 9/11, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, just car accidents. Are you going to stand around and wait for the police to come and the fire department to come, who might not have the resources because of the political landscape in that community or that area? So what are we doing to prepare ourselves mentally to say we need to get on point to where when anything happens, there's a group of us in this city who are prepared to go out there and answer the call of duty?
That's a powerful story, and I'm glad that that you are clear, and I would assume that a lot of people are clear on that political consequence. Oftentimes, people, especially in certain communities, like, oh, I don't get into all that politics stuff, and I'm like, yo, do you understand everything that you can do?
Yeah.
Is politics, and everything that trauma or pain that comes to you is a politically induced thing. And to not know that, like you said, is already shooting yourself in the foot.
Absolutely, because there's a consequence.
Absolutely.
Whether you realize it or not, there's a consequence. I remember this from my trouble with the law. They would say there's no ignorance to the law. You break the law, you're going to suffer the consequences, right? So, whether we're informed or not, whether we, politically active, socially active, organizing or not, there's a consequence that, we're going to have to suffer, especially as things, spiral downward like they are right now. We're looking for, so many, quick fixes and ways to get out of things when we really just have to be prepared. And that's mentally, financially to your best, and physically. I'm glad you made this a topic, Baba Geechee. We have to be prepared. Like, nobody's going to save us. I got 2 children. If we're on the highway in the middle of Virginia, pitch black at night, anybody ever drove through the mountains of West Virginia, ain't nobody coming to help you.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Forget looking good, being cute. Can you get your ass out of that car and take your child out that car seat before the car burns? Those are things we need to be thinking of.
That's powerful, man. So we wrapping up, and let me check on some. There's Baba, engaging in areas where we are not educated or training is a huge problem. The same can be said about our many generation of activities around water. Yep. Preparation is key. So as we wrap up this conversation, we have about 7 more minutes. I want y'all to both deliver on this answer to this question, and kind of incorporate your final words to the people about this topic. So obviously COVID has been an economic crisis, a social, psychological. There's a couple things that COVID should have taught you about capitalism and America's final solution for African people. But COVID is limiting our movement, limiting our resources, and all these other things. How should we respond? So I want y'all to give this your final answer and your final thoughts. How should we respond to being limited? Now, keep in mind, you're physical. You can't go to where, gym membership, eat, whatever. all that in mind, this topic, with your understanding, please answer that question. How should we respond to this limiting and denying movement? Cool.
As I stated earlier, first in your household, around your house, if you can. I know a lot of people are frightened to take their mask off. Take your mask off, man. Get some fresh air flowing through your nose, flowing through your lungs, right? Meditate using breathing techniques. We have to get out the fear. Take the mask off first so you can breathe. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And you can YouTube various breathing exercises. You can Google, whatever the case. Get some fresh air. Put some alkaline water in your body. Put cucumber in your water, right? Put chlorophyll in your water. Cleanse your blood, right? Drink some herbal teas. Settle your mind and focus on everything that's been said today in this show. Focus on healing yourself. Tell yourself, literally, as I stated earlier, words have power, right? But the actions behind them, of course, match that power, which makes it more powerful. So tell yourself, literally, I will heal. Heal. Talk to yourself. Tell your family to do the same. Have your children meditate with you. Go outside, get some oxygen. There are some limitations out here in the world, as Baba Geechee just spoke to, with the whole COVID pandemic. But that, again, what you can control, work on that. And here's another thing, because I've been a victim of it. I'm sure all of us can relate. We are not confident. Lack of confidence, fear, and thinking whatever we're doing isn't enough are limitations, self-limitations, or flagellation. We beat ourselves up. Oh, I didn't do that yesterday. I said I was going to get up at 5 o'clock. I ain't wake up till 8 o'clock. So what? That time has passed. Now do what you need to do. So I want to speak to that. A lot of times we take ourselves out of improvement based upon what others will think of us, and we project our thoughts on what those people will think of us, not knowing that those thoughts of us that may be negative are something that we're putting out. If you make a mistake, so what? If you fall, so what? Like when I pass gas now, I'll be like, yo, that was me. My bad, y'all. You know what I mean? Because guess what? Everybody can relate to that. If you trip and fall, you trip. Everybody, ha, ha, ha. Laugh with them, ha, ha. What that does is build your character. It builds your confidence. It builds your character. It builds your armor. It builds your mind. So to answer your question directly, Baba Geechee, with COVID and everything going on, take control of what you can. And the little that you do adds up to a lot every single day.
Thank you, Baba Quasi.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Baba Nfinitee. Beautiful. It was beautiful. Not much else to say, behind that, but two things, I guess. One, for those who are still in the fitness industry, with in response to COVID, as I mentioned earlier, corporations are prepared to adapt to every situation, right? With apps and social media and stuff like that. So as Africans, we have to do the same thing. If you see, the gym's closed, your business is starting to go down, you don't have clients coming in anymore, you should be doing 2 to 3 little 3-5-minute YouTube videos a day. You should be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. And we need tech people. We need African tech people who know how to do this coding and all of this stuff like that. Help people who are suffering in these industries who need access. There should be a Black fitness app. I don't know if there is one or not. I haven't done that research, honestly. But there's tons of apps and stuff like that. Can you get involved into the tech field and turn your business into a multi-faceted media communication system to where people who would like to come work out with you now they can follow you online or through your app, right? So that's for the business aspect, because we still got to support our struggling workers, right? At the same time, our people need to be able to deliver services, education, and information to our people without the business, the business side interfering all the time. So be on social media, giving away stuff and doing stuff people can follow. And the second piece is for people who are quarantined or might be working from home. As the brother said, get out. Like, we are fortunate. We were prepared for this 3 years ago as a family. 3 years ago. So our lives allow us to be able to go to the park every single day with our children. Every day, unless it's raining. We get outside and run around and we're active. That's the biggest thing you can do, is just move and don't allow yourself to suffer from the stress and depression.
You there, Bobby? Okay.
Yeah, my bad. I took myself off the camera. All right, so appreciate y'all for coming through. I was actually looking for the next topics that's coming up. Thank you for everybody who's watching, rewatching. Obviously, you can no longer talk to us directly if you're rewatching, but you can definitely leave comments. Coming up next, we'll have conversations about leadership and organizing, survival training, crisis resources, and talking about HBCUs. So definitely stay tuned. As you know, that we will definitely bring in the content, bring in the people who know what the hell they're talking about, and also that can give you resources and maybe even challenge you and make you feel some type of way. So both of the Bobbers, I thank y'all for coming through. We'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, thanks, Bobbers.
Peace.
Appreciate it.